as CLG. Not that one. We'll see what else they have lined up.
So Shyvana Hover, interesting. Wonder if that's a shot in there or anything, or
I don't know.
Usually when people hover something in Champ Select, it means something, like someone fed on that champ, or like it's your one trick. You know, I wonder what the significance of the Shyvana Hover is.
You know, Jojo Poon hovers Teemo every game.
I mean, that's just generic trolling. You know, Shyvana's a respectable character, though. I don't know why hovering her, what it's supposed to mean.
Well, it's not that close to Jinx either, so it might not have been a misclick. Maybe, you know what? It's so unlikely that they're just casting doubt into alphabetically. They're not close.
Yeah.
So you didn't misclick trying to hit Jinx. Is that how you misclick in draft?
My mouse is very erratic when I play.
You got DPI's too high in Champ Select.
Yeah, I got mouse acceleration on. Whoops. No, Jinx first pick makes sense. I mean, it's Luger's most played champion so far in 2022. They've looked very good on it, and CLG's bot lane felt like it's taken a step back from Lock-in Tournament, where they were getting a ton of kills. They were establishing themselves as potentially one of the best bot lanes in the league. And then in the actual regular season, there's been more struggles for them, and they have not been this force for them to play around. You know, the previous win against C9 kind of looked like that again, where you're making dives around them early into the game, and I hope CLG kind of gets back to that identity of our bot lane's a point of pressure, we move other resources down to help them out, and Jinx for Luger is kind of that option.
Yep, I think any CLG plan that includes Luger and Poom getting some sort of advantage is a good one. I think for CLG it's been a lot of inconsistency in the top side, which is of course getting better as the games go on. Ahri I really like from Power Fox actually, because not only is she just generally pretty powerful and pretty blindable, but she's really good at help enabling your jungle or roaming down to get kills in other lanes, which, you know, like bot lane, probably a good point to go to.
Yeah, I was wondering what the choice was for picking the Ahri first. Oh, okay. I thought they were going to take, you know, like the Thresh right away. You go Jinx Thresh, and you have a strong lane, but then the TK take, maybe that made them hesitate on their support pick. So they actually end up going for it. They go for a pretty strong mid-jungle 2v2. The Ahri Xin has a lot of playmaking, and like you said, that can be used to either attack mid lane, just with the setup from the Ahri, or it can be used to kind of spill over into the side lanes. They're both very good at making dives happen and things like that, and Ahri can shove a lot of things in. Not going to see the answer right now for Bjergsen. I was wondering where we had to end up mismatch based off the early picks. I was wondering if it was going to be mid lane or jungle that ended up mismatch. They end up taking the Trundle way, which has been rising in priority. It feels like slowly more and more Trundle has been popping up in the LCS.
Also the Santorin special in many ways, particularly in this particular matchup. Trundle just shuts down so much of what Xin wants to do because he wants to dash at you, and Trundle says no. Popping up the pillar. There's Rakan being banned away from Poom, so Team Liquid, unsurprisingly, are going to go ahead and attack this bottom lane.
You expect mid bans for CLG here. One of the things I saw when I was casting Academy that looked great was the Sylas into Ahri.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty gnarly how much power you got from the extra mobility of the Ahri ultimate. So we'll see what they want to end up getting rid of. Veigar, I can understand the cage being able to be very annoying just in terms of stuffing an Ahri engage. Even if you don't hit her with it, you can kind of use it to force her to have to go around or something, and probably frustrating to deal with.
Also, I think for Luger, it's just like something he doesn't want to play against, right? If he's trying to go forward, resetting in fights, Veigar just popping the cage in front and then blowing you up with the ulti feels pretty bad, man. As Cannon, that is a throwback to the Jenkins of old. But
I mean, Jenkins has played it this year as well, to be fair. One of his best champions. You could argue you could blind it in theory, and then it's a little bit more annoying, and so they don't want to have to deal with that. Or it's a ban for something that they want to take away. I mean, Gwen's already banned, so I'm not quite sure what Whippo is looking at here, but that could say, okay, we're going to take our top laner, we just don't want the Kennen counter pick.
There's Renekton banned, so not going to get that option either here. So Team Liquid, who are they saving counter pick for? I would guess. I guess top lane actually at this point, because you already know what Power Fox is going to be playing. And then, as Blipper said in his interview after winning Player of the Week last week, he's been preparing more champions this week. Don't know if we'll get an opportunity to play them here, but if you want to maximize the Blippo-ness, probably want to give him counter pick.
How wide will Blippo get?
Very wide so far. Hey, it's Victor.
Victor, boring.
He's from Arcane too.
You know, yeah, there's a lot of Arcane champs. But the Victor, I'm a little surprised at. It's a matchup where the Ahri doesn't have a ton of pressure individually on you. It's something from what I was watching, where there's setup potential. If you get charmed, yes, things can go bad, but individually, it's a pretty uninteractive lane. I mean, that's one of the things that makes Victor strong, is he's hard to interact with in lane, and then you kind of just get outscaled. So, you know, Bjergsen not going for the interesting, skillier matchup like the Sylas I was hoping for, knowing that he does play Sylas. I know you can do it, Bjergsen. but they're going for safety in the mid lane.
Kind of to your point before, Direction has an exceptionally wide champion pool, in part due to, you know, the decade of League of Legends or more that he's been playing. But typically, he just kind of sticks to whatever he thinks is good, which is the mark of a lot of these top players. Like, yes, I could play this, but why when Victor will do?
He does admittedly play a lot of the hotness in solo queue or on a new champion release. So, you know, he has that wide champion pool, but right now I think potentially just wanting more scaling in the comp as well. When you have the Varus in the bot lane, it's a little, we'll see what build Hansama ends up going for, but usually a little bit more early game oriented, as well as with the Jace taken there. That is two very early game oriented pushing side lanes, with Victor kind of be your scaling threat in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think all that ties up nicely as Jenkins did take Camille. Whippo decides that Jace is just fine here. And as you said, is very good in the early stages of the game. And, you know, Team Liquid are typically a slow team, let's say. Exceptionally good at playing their map. Very good macro, great warding. Again, thanks to Core in a lot of cases, and just how good the coaching stuff is behind that team. But Whippo has been nice for Team Liquid, you know, injecting a lot more fury into the early stages of the game. It's not that Liquid can't get aggressive, just they always don't need to. And Whippo kind of feels like he always needs to, which is a trait I like in any player.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Team Liquid is 7th place in combined kills per minute, as well as in average game time. So not like they're horrendously slow, but you know, they are a team that likes to have a couple late game options, it feels like, in their back pocket in almost every single draft. For the side of CLG, they want to be the ones making things happen. The Xin-Ahri combination, as well as the Camille into Jace. Jace will have a lot of pressure in that matchup. You can expect the attention then to be going more towards the top side, especially given the TK in the bot lane for Team Liquid. You know, that's them kind of saying, we want to play around our top side. A lot more of the focus for them right now in this game, and CLG will be tested in that top half of the map.
Yep, and a lot of agency for the top side, and Lulu in the bottom side alongside Luger. Says to me that at some point you move your top side down, start clicking on the enemy champions surrounding Luger, and hope that Jinx gets enough kills to carry you over the finish line. Our final game of the week, as Team Liquid are looking to tie for first here in the LCS.
Trying to make it tied with FlyQuest. It would be surprising if at the end of week 3, FlyQuest stood alone at the top of the standings, but CLG gonna do their best to make it happen. Chris believes.
Good on you, Chris.
What's Reknat think?
The GOAT of jungle versus Santorin. I like that. Do I agree? I do not, but I like it.
I mean, the Kobe Valentine's Day video seems to have worked. Contracts had a great game yesterday.
That's true. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, and I think what we were talking about with the comps, oh my god, we have so many tweets loaded up. So I'm getting distracted.
People like Team Liquid.
I'm not going to keep reading them.
All right. You're doing so well.
I was going to say the Team Liquid have the range advantage here, and I think in the 5v5s, it'll be hard for CLG if they don't already have a little bit of a lead with the Trundle and the TK and all the poke that's available for Team Liquid's side. If CLG either not already ahead or have super clean engages, if they're the ones who have to be walking into Team Liquid's comp from behind, it's going to be very difficult. So my eyes are definitely going to be on Contracts. We'll see if he really is the GOAT jungler. I feel like he's going to want to make something happen in his side lanes.
Yeah, I think in general, he's been the player that I've looked to kind of return to form. He looked so good when he was subbing in last year on EG, and is a player that I'm very happy to have back in the LCS, but has not been the bright spot that we necessarily expected, although in some cases it does make sense. He needs to warm back into playing at this level. Definitely top side is what we're going to look, though, because bottom side has heal, cleanse, exhaust, heal as the summoner spells in the 2v2.
Ooh, very aggressive bot lane. Well, actually, here comes Santorin down with the level 2 cheese gank. I like this timing window.
Yeah, I really like this, actually. Core is, like, kind of looking a little delicious. Luger going to be forced to flash in. They go. Cleanse out early. Exhaust is down. I take it all back. There's the gank from Santorin. It's first blood as Boom flashes as well.
We were trolling, Pastry. All those summoners were used offensively there by Team Liquid. The exhaust coming in after the cleanse from Luger. The extra bit of slow allowing the chase down. Super critical. More important than anything Ignite, probably, honestly, for finding that kill. Well executed by them, and especially on Santorin. What an awkward timing window. Straight red to bot lane. No one's going to be expecting that path, and I honestly love Santorin's level 2 cheese paths. I feel like they're always so intelligent, because right after that, you're not really that inefficient. You just go back into your jungle, take blue, take Gromp, and then clear back up the top side.
Yo, have a look at this one again. I mean, look at him go. He knows exactly what the plan is.
He's just skedaddling down there, and you know that Jinx Lulu, even if they expect the jungler to be clearing top to bot, they're not expecting this path. So they think that they're going to be able to freely push on the level 2 wave and get level 2 and harass down as much as they can. And Team Liquid are saying they're just auto pushing. So just come down here. This is such a free kill. I don't know if that was planned from the very beginning or if that was an adaptation, but either way, super smart by Team Liquid.
Yeah, his contracts, though, pretty good in this scraps. Here's Poom going to try and enchant him up, but Luger's going to be late to this party. Contract's winning early, but Santorin fairly powerful. Who's going to go down? It's Core! Finds the dive, gets the knock-up, takes out Contracts, gets the buffs, and now Poom, who had no flashes in mortal peril, but will escape.
A little bit greedy there by CLG. They wanted to do something to fix their wave. You can see he's kind of frozen in an awkward spot here. So I think that was a little bit of, hey, Contracts, come down here. This gank by Team Liquid not only killed us, it also put our wave in an awful spot because they never got the wave all the way in. Hold on, Jenkins in some trouble here.
Whippo is at it again.
Has flash.
No mana, so don't think he can kill Jenkins. Core, though, is going back in onto Poom. Good Q there from Hans, gets a bit of poke in.
What I was going to say was they were at a summoner disadvantage. The Hans heal was still up, and so when you get that really big scrap between Contracts and Santorin, that last second heal and the little bit of extra mobility by Core JJ to tunnel in and close that gap a little bit faster, turn that fight in their favor. And now CLG's bot lane is in a lot of trouble, already falling down about 20 CS. Yes, the wave is pushing him, but Luger's going to die.
Algo Gaming, though, it is Contracts waiting in the shadows, and it's just not gonna matter! Core JJ still alive will finally fall to Poom, who gets the double buffs.
I was about to say, Core JJ had the double buffs. He was trying to heal through it with the red buff, healing him up through the gray health. Not able to be enough. Still sucks, though, for Luger. He does not get the kill. It's a 1-for-1. He's now down, 20 plus CS. The wave's pushing in. We'll see if Hans can get in time, but this is a disaster in that game plan that I was talking about trying to move resources down to this bot lane potentially.
Yeah, Poom is level 2. If you want to know what's been going on there in the bottom half of the map for CLG. Definitely not the start they were hoping for. 1,300 gold ahead for Team Liquid. Most of that gold concentrated down to really the place you never want it to be. Hans and Core JJ, yeah. Especially Hans on Varus.
Yeah, this is one of the things. It is Hail of Blade. We'll see if he wants to go. Well, he has Serrated Dirk, so I'm assuming it's a little bit more lethality focused. You can kind of do whatever you want from the build. People have been trying a little bit more on-hit stuff with Varus recently, but poke from ahead is so oppressive, and especially combined with the Jace, I'm not surprised to see that.
Hey, look, Core JJ recalled back towards mid lane. Thanks, Hi. For that little bit of insight earlier. Palfox did TP back in the mid, chunked up Bjergsen, but Bjergsen's going back anyway, hasn't used his TP, so nothing much to worry about there as Whippo looks for the Shock Blast onto Jenkins, but does not find it. Farm looking good on the side of Camille, so things are just fine there, even though Whippo is getting some pressure.
And I feel like this is going to be CLG's in-game adaptation. Bot lane has gone upside down, so time to start putting your resources in the top lane. Camille is another win condition for this team. If you can get the Ahri unlocked, like we said, in Contracts, despite that rough start, if you're there when the Trundle is not, it's okay to, the fact that you're down in a kill already in the matchup. That's not a huge deal if you're able to find some timing windows where it's a free gank.
Yeah, for now, it is just going to be struggles here in the 2v2. So we'll check in later there and see how Luger can catch up and farm down almost 25 right now. It's a lot.
It's tough. I mean, the double buff Lulu, if you were winning the lane, would be so unbelievably oppressive. The burn, the extra mana, they just spam away. But from behind, when you don't have control of the wave and you're getting poked out, you can just see how much this lethality Varus can get done just with a Serrated Dirk on the Qs.
Good to see this, though. Powerfox already getting out of lane, looking towards the top side of the map. There is a ward there. Jenkins will spot that, putting a controller in the same brush. In fact, he's going to go back and clear it now because Contracts might be fancying a go. He's going to try and take this red buff here.
This was a good setup by CLG. There were wards by Team Liquid in that river, so they saw that coming, but you kind of have to spend sometimes your first gank attempt just figuring out where the vision is, clearing it out so that your next one is successful. Contracts going for the red buff here, while Team Liquid plays more with the bot pressure, grabbing that dragon away. And Whipple's going to have to recall, knowing that he's on the weak side of the map. Doesn't want to walk up to that Camille who's got the wave, I think, frozen right in front of her turret.
Yeah, you're going to have to give the Drake away, unfortunately, on the CLG side. So, good news for Jenkins here in the top side, but still a nice early Drake for Team Liquid. They'll be happy with that. There's no Herald to even look at, so not a trade on the board for CLG as Luger is eating arrows from Hans Sama.
Yeah, you take the Tongue Lash first, guarantees the poke from Varus. A pretty disgusting combination coming in from the Team Liquid bot lane.
And now level 6, so going to have to play back. Luger is getting shielded. Poom with some nice timing there, but again, you're forced to play defensively in this lane. Contracts is here. We'll see if this tips the scales. It's 3v2 for a while at this point.
Yeah, and there's decent wards and Hans is already 6, so there's a pretty massive disadvantage. I think he's actually going for the gank. We'll see.
Wrap around, heal popped already, climbing for a bit of move speed. Contract's going in, Hans the target. Good knock up there for CLG. The exhaust is beautiful, but Hans Sama will not survive as Contracts still goes down, but Palafox trying to thread the needle on the charm. It's CLG. It's going to go through, but a flash charm from Palafox is going to try and lock him up, and no one can stop Core from getting out.
A little bit tankier of a catfish than you would expect at this point in the game, but CLG again ending up just 1 for 1 for their investment there. Hans Sama able to trade back. I like the idea of Contracts just kind of like hopping in and trying to get the damage down as much as they could right away. Ends up dropping for it. And, you know, you can see they're still falling behind in the gold in this game. Hold on, Poom.
Solo kill?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a solo kill. No flash, no hope. CLG gets it on the Poom.
Takes the red buff from Contract, says, thank you very much. Going to use this to kill your support now. This feels like you're investing in, it's like a losing investment. You got to cut ties to me, and that's why when we keep going down bot lane, it keeps being 1 for 1s. And during that time, Santorin's able to clear up his topside jungle. They're able to, you know, Bjergsen just stays mid. It's such an investment to just recover a lane that's already lost. Yeah, I think if it had been a clean kill, it would be a bit different, but Contract's going down. Palafox not there until later. Poom dying on the back of the extended play to Core. Blue buff does get donated over. I was going to say, during the draft, I was disappointed with CoreJJ being back. It's his second game back in the league, and he plays Tahm Kench. I'm like, boring. Boring. Even if it's a more aggressive version of Tahm Kench than the historical, just defensive version, it's still kind of a lame champ. But honestly, CoreJJ is making it fun to watch. Yep, certainly is. Contracts, no flash, pops the ulti instantly. CoreJJ getting involved. Bjergsen there as well, and that's such an easy kill for Santorin. 100% kill participation for the killer catfish, CoreJJ. 3, 1, and 3. Cooldown boots at the ready. You can't fight him. Run away. Look at this. He's going to take your vision to 2. Santorin's got the red buff. Also, he got the Rift Herald. Is important to note that those first 2 major objectives did go Team Liquid's way. Great pillar there onto Poom. Poom is just eating damage, and Santorin just destroys him. It is a disaster in the bot lane. Like you said, TL able to trade evenly when they don't have extra players around them. And when they do, CoreJJ is just going in on cooldown, trying to find people to pick up. Ends up missing it. Unfortunately, with all the action bottom side, we didn't see the top. It looks like Jenkins, though, figured it out. Yeah, Palafox made a roam up to the top side, it seems, during that, and found a kill, while TL just works down this bot turret. We'll hopefully get a replay of exactly what happened in the top lane there. So we'll investigate in a moment. Also, Herald was not dropped because there was enough damage being done to that bot tower without it. So Santorin is going to save it for a rainy day, as Jenkins, a little low on health, is going to get out safely as Bwipo TPs back to lane. Okay, so, I mean, maybe they can get the Camille online. I mean, Jinx is one of these champions who's always a threat in the game. Even when you fall behind, get to your 2 items, just chill, play it slow. Hopefully enemy team flubs and engage. Hans Sama misses an ultimate, you know? And then in the mid to late game, when people make those kinds of mistakes, Jinx still will always have that reset potential. And if you have someone else who you can invest in, well, maybe it's time to look into it. Here, Jenkins kind of baits Bwipo to going on him right as Palafox makes this roam up. I think Bwipo has flash, so Palafox must make a sick play to land the charm. No. Oh, that's such a good flash, but it just doesn't matter. Bwipo just gets taken out. Jenkins actually perfectly tanking that tower. I mean, Bwipo played that decently well, flashed the 1 skill shot that was available, but just too much lockdown and mobility available for CLG to stick on top of him and get their damage out. Yeah, can't flash Camille ulti, unfortunately. Santorin looking for the interrupt. I love the attempt with the gravity field, but Palafox barely slips out of the CC chain. Yeah, Palafox able to live just barely there. I think he might have used his W move speed to get a little bit further away. That is one of the changes. If you've not seen the kind of reworked Ahri that came in on 12.3, her W gives the move speed now instead of her Q. Functions a little differently, less dependent on E. Her base abilities do a little bit more damage, as you can see, Santorin. He's at it. He doesn't mind just taking out the tower. And this is a product of Palafox's roams, which, to be fair, have looked decent, but Bjergsen just stayed there. Rift Herald's not able to take that turret out with a bit of extra help, and Contracts and Core are going to meet in top lane, but the Catfish is too powerful! Oh, no. CoreJJ gobbles him up, and Bwipo knocks it down. And now Jenkins is going to be forced out of here. The level 7 Tahm Kench is going for it there. Jenkins pops the ulti, but CoreJJ is keeping him in the hexagon. Well, they want to go there. You see some abilities used. They're trying to... They know Bwipo has no flash. He's going to be a kill. Can they also get CoreJJ? No, Core's going to be out, but Bwipo should be forfeit. Luger probably wants this kill if they can give it over, and they will not. It's Jenkins that will collect the gold. Also a good candidate. I think it's a good idea to give it to Jenkins. If you can get Jenkins fed enough, he'll have 1v1 threat on the Jace. Luger, like we said, you tried to recover his lane a little bit more than you already should have. Just let him collect objectives, let him collect farm, but if there's kills available, you want those onto Jenkins.
Speaking of, Santorin's at it again. Oh, he's just going to solo kill Palafox. Bjergsen gets in there, flash the laser there for Palafox, who will escape. But even the level 8 Trundle with the Divine Sunder now at 3-0-1 is quite the menace on the Rift.
A lot of threats for CLG in this game. Core JJ is a threat. You can see Contracts needs to be scared of the Tom Kench. I like the idea for Contracts to try and ult the damage from the Jace combo away. It's just a little bit too slow. And so he took the Shock Blast still, and then Core JJ ate him up, spit him right at Whippo, try and, kind of do an alley-oop. They found that kill, and then Jenkins played this one decently well, locking Core JJ down. You see the heal given so that he could line up the Q for the Lulu, potentially, and they just knew that, okay, we can at least get Whippo with the speed-ups that come in from the Lulu abilities. They get that one kill. Could unfortunately not find... I think there's a shutdown available for Core JJ. Yeah, they had 150 gold shutdown, I'm pretty sure. Just couldn't find it on him.
Instead, Team Liquid now up 5,500 gold. They're going to roam themselves up to top lane and make that lead even larger. They've also got the first 2 dragons, so
yes,
Hextech gates are up and available, which is definitely good news for the snowballing Team Liquid.
And right now, Santorin is kind of just running up to turrets and taking them. You saw him do that one mid lane, did the same top there. Trundle does actually become quite the threat at taking turrets, so he's just slapping those down, and they're trying to outpace CLG right now. It takes so long for CLG to try and take turrets. They didn't even get that one in the top side after that play. TL instantly respond and take the top one of their own.
Jenkins did get the bottom one though, which is nice for him. Again, he is collecting gold. Right now, the big power point for CLG does feel like this Camille. Santorin, though, just in the enemy jungle, not particularly afraid of anyone walking in and doing much. And even though Everfrost is online for Palafox, we have Sunder and Gold Drinkers on for the top side. CLG can make plays, but going to have to be fairly reactive given the gold lead that Team Liquid have, as Santorin's going to start up the second Rift Herald for the team.
I expect to see CLG sack this one. You see them all moving away. It's a little disappointing to see them even committed that many resources. All 5 members were in the area. You know, you can't really fight them. You should know they have a pretty substantial gold lead at this point. Would have liked to have seen Camille just down there collecting experience and farm the entire time, but making her way down there now.
Now, Luger also has to play catch up here. Is 2 levels down on Han Summer. Almost the same level as Core JJ, who's level 7. He was the same level as Contracts when he almost solo killed him, as Contracts now 9 takes a red buff for himself. So definitely tough stuff here for CLG as Team Liquid continue their smooth early games. And this is the kind of thing where one of the great things about Team Liquid, one of the reasons that they are so formidable, is that when they get a lead, just don't let it go. They are so clean at closing out games.
It's especially problematic for how CLG kind of wanted to play this game out, where you have a bit of a 1-3-1. You can put Ahri in the side lane, potentially make plays against a Victor, or get the pressure down. See him try. Woo, does get the flash force. That is why it's important to get your Ahri ahead, because you can do plays like that. And Ahri has a pretty low damage build most of the time in the current meta. It's more about playmaking and setup. And so when Ahri is unable to do that in the early game and you fall 5,000 gold behind, it becomes really hard to execute the 1-3-1 because your Jinx is not nearly as safe in the mid lane. You need more babying time for the rest of the champion, so Ahri doesn't get as much help as she wants in the side lane. But still a good play by Palafox there. We'll see if he can go and finish that turret off. You see them pinging it down. Should grab that one after forcing the flash. And CLG make a nice play to get some gold back in their pocket.
Yep, objective bounty collected. Really nice from Palafox to be patient enough. Saw the room coming up from the duo lane. Didn't want to face check the Varus and the Tom, so just waits, goes back, and then collects the gold that they desperately need. Because CLG, they'll take these trades. They don't like them, but you kind of have to get whatever you're given at this point. Santorin drops the Herald bottom side, and Team Liquid are going to take turret number 4.
Answer right back from Team Liquid. You see the investment for CLG in the top side. They push in mid, rotate extra members down. That is a 4-man push onto this turret. If CLG don't respect it, I expect them to grab the inhibitor turret pre-20 minutes.
They are going to get it. Rift Herald does basically all the work. Inhibitor even on the menu. Team Liquid just going for it. Palafox is still topside. Has the teleport ready to go. Whew. Rift Herald lines up, finishes off the inhib, and Team Liquid walk away. It's still alive. All right, Jenkins gets it. Collects the 50 gold.
Well, they are going to make their way out safely now. I was looking to see how much more posturing Team Liquid was going to do. They take the inhibitor pre-20 minutes. People have discussed whether that's worth it or not. Statistically, I think Freak is the one who knows the exact number, but it's 90-something+% that you win the game in competitive if you take the inhibitor. The amount of pressure it provides with the team, especially in the bot lane, is Han.
Beautifully done by Palafox. Lines it up with the Everfrost, but Core JJ perfectly timed. Voyager's in, devours Hans, and Palafox feels robbed from that play. In fact, he goes back in. He's so mad about it, he's trying to make it happen. But Jenkins now going to dive back in alongside Contracts. Core JJ, is he the target? He's going to get out. No, he's not. It's shut down there for Jenkins.
All right, CLG finding Team Liquid a little sloppy in their resets. Find the first kill with the Drake up. They might be able to take this one away, but TL want to work their way in.
It's just like a field of slows between Santorin and Bjergsen, putting up pillars, putting up gravity fields. Team Liquid going to try and take this Drake, but CLG are sticking around for the 5v4. Jenkins getting jumped on. Bwipo misses the Everfrost as he goes into stasis, but Contracts dives back into Santorin, going to get forced away. Stunned up by the gravity field, but not going to go back in.
You get to see some of the annoying parts of Team Liquid's comp, all those slows that you're talking about, their zone control, their poke. They're able to force CLG away 5v4 from the Dragon, keep that one alive and get their Dragon stacking continue. Well done by Team Liquid there to save what was a bit of a botch play, a little sloppy on their resets, backing out from that inhibitor take. They're able to pick Hans during that time. That was a nice execution by CLG to get one kill. Hans ended up living, but to initially try and find the pick onto him, just not enough. If that could have gone a little bit better in their favor, maybe that could have been the foothold back into that game. Another kill or two, you get the Dragon, and you can start hoping. But for right now, unfortunately, they did not find those kills.
Fox does not know that Bwipo is currently taking the Gromp, but I don't think he's going to stick around too long. Oh, face checks the Jace. Fox with the ulti, though, is going to be able to get away.
Yeah, Jace still hurts. Bwipo has been under attack a little bit this game because bot side was going so well. Naturally, you end up the target. But still a very threatening Jace. And we'll see what he wants to do from here, because he will be the one, I think, that they're going to continue to attack. And Team Liquid trying to get some vision control for the Jace, make sure he's safe and contest this blue buff.
It's a very confident Hexgate in from Santorin. Right into the enemy blue buff. Does go to Contracts at the end of the day, but Palafox probably would have preferred it. Team Liquid going to barrel down mid, take out this tier 2 for themselves, call it 6 turrets, 3 dragons. A Baron in 20 seconds and a Partridge and a Pear Tree mark as Bwipo goes back in and Palafox will get punished. No, not yet. Dodges the Q and Contracts. Gets the counter kill onto Bwipo, but now he's caught completely out. A beautiful dash on the Hans to try and live a little bit longer, but unfortunately it will be a 1-for-1.
Not bad. For CLG get to stall that out. Now it's just a question if you can hold the turret.
Luga has to be careful, can't step further into the gravity field. Good zoning there. TP in from CLG. Palafox back from the brink of death, trying to make the fight happen. Luga locked up completely. Wild Growth popped, but now Palafox on the roam. It's Jenkins coming up as well. CLG needs to capitalize on this play. Palafox goes in. Everfrost finds the route. Jenkins dives into the backside, finds himself Hansama, finds a second kill. Core JJ goes down.
It's an
CLG finds the ace.
5 kills for Just. Contracts going down. He's going to respawn. Baron just came up right now as well. CLG are going to look for that. It's going to be on Bwipo by himself to see if he can stop this one.
How wide is the Bwipo today? CLG will start up the Baron. A necessary start here. 15 seconds till Santorin is up. He will not be relevant in this Baron take. It is just Bwipo against the world.
All right, we'll see if he wants to just try and send a shock blast in there. It doesn't even look like he's really attempting. I think they're just going to understand, you know, we kind of just threw the game, greeting out 4 kills in the top lane.
Oh! 2,000 gold got chopped off that as we look at the Rocket flip the switch replay.
Bwipo and the rest of the team kind of get baited here. It's a nice idea. I don't hate it. They want to go in. It comes up a little short. You end up trading 1-for-1 because Contracts has to give his life to finish the kill. For CLG, you know, you take 1-for-1s right now. Team Liquid want to finish off the turret here. I don't hate the idea, given that you have super creeps pushing the bot lane, but right here, you got to be backing off. You can't be tunneling onto Luger. They think that they can just walk up, and, you know, Luger's not that big of a threat. We talked about this. He's been shut down. The real threats are Palafox and Jenkins who come in here, and just the dash through the gravity field to set this up. The root right away, dropping all their damage onto Hansama was such good coordination by the 2 solo laners. Then the follow-up immediately by Jenkins to get the true damage kill onto Bjergsen to make sure that didn't become an extended team fight. They instantly eliminated the 2 highest priorities on the Team Liquid side. That was actually very good execution. They're still down gold. They do have the Baron. I don't expect them to instantly, you know, start running away with this game. We're going to need a couple more good plays on, especially with the soul spawning in a minute and a half.
Chris is back. Team scaling. Happy to see it there. Like I said, it was 4.4k dropped to 2.4 as that Baron dropped down. So a significant dent in the finances of Team Liquid.
Yeah, this is a... We'll have to see. It's still tough because we're talking about scaling and stuff. You know, Team Liquid still scale pretty good. Jace is a champion whose damage is, you know, usually going to be relevant late game. Victor as well. There's a small advantage, obviously, in the side that we talk about Jinx becoming ridiculous compared especially to Poke Varus, who not really will fall off because there's nothing too tanky on the side of CLG. Like his poke, no matter who you hit, it's going to be relevant. No one's going to stack enough armor to kind of get through and make the damage from poke Varus irrelevant. So in that sense, the Varus doesn't fall off the way you typically talk about poke Varus falling off. The bigger problem is going to be if Team Liquid can't zone control. I want to see them in a not scrappy situation right now actually set this dragon up and execute it, because they've been playing a little loose with how much they felt like they were snowballing the game.
And it is eyes again on the CLG solo laners, on PowerFox, swapping teams after a rocky start to his LCS career. But Jenkins, who was a former Team Liquid player, played a few LCS games, is now battling his old org. As CLG hold on in this game, but they're up against the Hextech Soul that Team Liquid are going to make you fight for in 20 seconds.
I like what CLG's doing. They're trying to flank right now. You know, you don't want to go straight front to back against Team Liquid's comp. You want to try and find these angles. Jenkins was initially in the bot side with the Ahri. Instead, they rotate the extra men down, so Jenkins, as you see, is actually wrapping around to get behind onto Bjergsen. This is a clever idea of playing through the bot lane to contest the dragon instead of coming in through the mid lane.
Contract's at it again, but just poking onto Santorin. Not much he can do. Pillar is good. Massive damage there from Hans, and I think Bjergsen's laser as Jenkins is trying to find the flank angle. Teleport from PowerFox. He's looking for the long flank as Jenkins forced away by Bjerg.
Good job by Bjerg, poking out the flanker right there.
You have
CLG,
to go.
multiple members starting to get a little low. They don't end up going.
Contracts is way too low. The Soul's just not defendable. Contracts leaves. PowerFox trying to find the angle now. Just has to use the ulti and run away. There is nothing in this play for CLG.
This is a big problem with the Hextech Soul giving extra slows to all that poke available for Team Liquid. It's a long chase down. There's no turrets in the bot lane, remember.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Team Liquid win a clean fight there, the game might just end, given that there is an opening to the Nexus here in the bottom half of the map. CLG will at least hold on to that for now, but cannot have another crack at keeping this Soul away. Team Liquid are going to have that forever. Jinx ulti is going to cancel a recall, but I don't think there's anything else for CLG to do, despite this reset, as they have to walk all the way back to their base.
Tough situation from CLG there. Like we said, it's hard to contest objective against Team Liquid's comp. I thought overall the idea was decent, but just too much pre-fight poke. The Soul laners were a little desync. Jenkins was kind of going out right when you had the TP coming in for PowerFox. Their positioning was decent, but just the timings did not quite work out between Contracts, Health, and all of them finding an opportunity to go in. I think Bjergsen deserves a lot of credit for chasing the Camille out of the flank position.
Now, Scuttle Crab's going to be taken. Baron's up in a minute 45 at Team Liquid. Happy to take early control of this area. PowerFox is in danger. Does have ulti, does have flash, but doesn't really want to use those cooldowns right now, but will avoid it as CoreJJ pops a ward over the top right as the sweeper runs out for Ahri.
So this is one of the things TL have to be a little careful of. I don't think their Baron damage is that great. Santorin can obviously tank it for a while, but CLG can kind of slow play Baron situations with the poke Varus build. Of course, the damage from Victor is highly relevant, but it's mostly a Trundle slapping away with a Victor and a Tom Kench and a Varus. It's not the fastest Baron in the world.
Certainly not. As Jenkins, the other threat to watch here, does have Unleashed Teleport available, is level 15 here. Feels like they can contest in the side lane, although Bwipo is maybe going to make me question that statement because he's going in because that's the Bwipo. Bjergsen, oh, this is the reason why. Jenkins, you cannot get out of this now. Bwipo's actually winning the 1v1 anyway as Bjergsen shuts it down right as the ultimatum ends, and Contracts is going to get knocked up by CoreJJ, who has been a thorn in the side of CLG all game long. Santorin with a beautiful pillar, cuts up two. Contracts will be wild growth, but now Luger is going to be left for dead. The Devour's there. Hans Sommer's going off, forces the flash out of Jinx. It's a 5v4 for Liquid.
Able to kite that one out with all the mobility available in CLG's comp. I was talking about Baron, the setup, all this stuff in the next minute. Team Liquid's not going to wait for Baron. That was a really nice rotation by Bjergsen to follow up, cut off Jenkins, kill him, and without the 4-kill Camille available, I don't think there's any way CLG can win these team fights. Got chased down a little bit there. Team Liquid now critically grab this inhibitor in the bot lane, which will auto-push with the Baron respawning. Will make those kinds of extended setups a lot more frustrating for CLG because you have this naturally accruing pressure in the bot side.
And Team Liquid basically back to where they started before CLG got that teamfight ace and got the Baron. Back up to about 4K. Bjergsen, I believe, also teleported to that bottom place, so really good awareness by the veteran from Team Liquid. Just knowing that they can sync up with Bwipo, get a pick, and then make this situation a lot simpler for them. I mean, this is the ideal situation where we're trying to take a Baron. You have super minion pressure on the furthest point from this objective.
We'll see how long they want to spend setting it up, if they're going to look for baits. Their turn is okay. You have Tom Kench, you can go in, but that's about it. Otherwise, like we said, it's more about poking them when they contest. and during the vision battles, finding a way to get some damage down.
Good poke. Oh, they're going for it. Santorin, the target. Contracts dove in, but I think he went too early. Contracts just going to get shredded. Powerfox deleted by Bwipo. And now CLG cannot contest for this Baron.
Excellent job by Santorin. They're presenting a target that CLG cannot resist. They land some damage early on, but that is an extremely tanky Trundle with a Tahm Kench in his back pocket. You are never getting that kill there. It's fine to poke him, but really should not have actually pulled the trigger on engaging onto him. Now Team Liquid are going to be able to grab this inhibitor on the top lane and potentially the game.
Yeah, Luca just zoned out there. Still 2 dead for 20 seconds or so. Team Liquid are going to move in for the kill. Trying to tie for first here in the standings at week 3. Jenkins goes in. Last ditch effort out of CLG. Jenkins looking to go on to Bjergsen, but Luca completely zoned out by Poke. Puma's going to get attacked by CLG and the rest of the squad. And the ace this time goes to Team Liquid as they will finish off week 3 atop the standings next to FlyQuest.
Who needs a Baron? Team Liquid still win the game in 28 minutes. After that one flub in the top side, they instantly reestablish control over this game and show why they are tied at the top of the standings with FlyQuest.
Like I said, Team Liquid, when they get a lead, are very clean. They rarely make mistakes, but when they do, they typically don't make them again, even in the same game.
It was one of those mistakes, too, where it's just a little bit of over-aggression. It's not like a critical misunderstanding of how to play the game. You got baited in. It happens. Reset. Reestablish control. That's exactly what Team Liquid did. Very impressed by them. CLG, that's just a tough game where the first play that you kind of go for, like Santorin just throws a huge wrench in your game plan right out the gate. Maybe a little slow to adapt to the fact that you can't play around your bot lane anymore. But you saw that they have the skill to challenge people when they make mistakes. They seem to be weaseling their way back into the game, but just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, a valiant effort for CLG, but the result kind of as expected. And I kind of like to think about what you said about, the one time they maybe overpushed it. It's kind of like a little scale for Team Liquid. And the axes are Bwipo and Bjergsen, the sole laners of Team Liquid. Little too much Bwipo on that play. Pulled it back for Bjergsen, and the game was pretty straightforward there for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I gotta say, where was Hans in that play? That's the other thing. Hans is another factor. They got him super fed in the early game.
True.
You can't just pretend that it's a two-axes team.
Oh, no, definitely not. I'm more talking about on the scale of pushing the advantage too far versus playing a little,
play style. A little bit too much Bwipo there.
Yeah, a little too much Bwipo.
Okay, I got you.
It's kind of when it's like, put too much hot sauce on your food, a little too spicy. That's too much Bwipo. You got to tone it back. Get some cooling mayonnaise in there.
I'm a pico de gallo, a chipotle kind of guy.
Yeah?
I'm not doing the super spicy stuff. I guess I'm more Bjergsen.
Bwipo is a Diablo guy for sure. He's going the
He
first.
goes up to the salsa bar and he's like, a little bit of everything on there.
And we did get a little bit of everything from Team Liquid. It's also the most offensive-oriented Tahm Kench I've seen in a while. It was so funny that we set up the bottom lane to be extremely farm-heavy and boring. And then Santorin was like, do I have something for you?
Yeah, I mean, the instant level 2 gank, this is why Santorin has been one of the best junglers in the league for so long. So much creativity in his pathing.
All right, well, to cap off our weekend, we are going to be getting some thoughts from Bjergsen and our